And I remember one time, I was about 12, 13, and these two boys rode the bus. They thought they were bad. And they kept on and on. We can whoop y'all. They would live about 2 or 3 miles from us, and there's a big cattle pasture in between us. We said, we'll meet you there this weekend on Sunday. And they showed up. Henry said, you take the big one first, and I'll take the other one. One of them was bigger than the other. That's all right. I got the big one down, and he made him haul a calf rope. Henry got his down. They got up. Henry said, now let's swap. I got the little one was harder than the big one. But I got him down and whooped on him, and Henry took the big one down. You know, them two boys was friends of ours as long as they lived. Made good friends out of it. They couldn't whoop us. And we just didn't like to give up. Yeah, we'd fight you. But we didn't want to hurt nobody. We just wanted to show you that we weren't scared of you. People that go through life being scared are in trouble. Just take it as it comes. I'd rather talk somebody out of a fight than to have to fight them. That's why I learned to talk so good.
I do that same thing. I had the weirdest thing happen to me about 2 months ago. I was heading up to the local movie theater, and there was this guy on the road, and he's driving a little sports car. He cuts me off, and I'm riding there with a friend of mine. And as we go by, my friend just goes, "Whoa!" That thing right there, like, what the heck's going on? Why did you cut him off? The dude followed us all the way to the movie theater. Now the thing is, that movie theater, there's a police station right beside it on the other side of the shopping center. Now, he followed us about a mile down the road, and I just knew this guy wasn't about to do anything. So I wasn't going to be late for my movie. So I walked on in, we pulled up to the movie theater, parked. I get out of the car, he pulls in behind us, and he hops out, and he looks at me, and then he looks at my friend, and I go, "Hey man, I got a movie to catch." And he looks at my friend, and he goes, "Oh." He tries to fight my friend, and I just like, man, we got movies to watch, dude. I'm not going to sit out here with this bull crap. So it ended up, by the end of the conversation, we're all shaking hands, and he's offering to buy us some popcorn.
In a movie theater, that's a treat. They break you with it.
It was Tuesday, so you get the Tuesday coupon.
That popcorn in the theater is sky high.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I believe in talking them out of it instead of trying to whoop it out of them.
It's a lot better to make friends.
Oh, it's so much easier.
You meet if someone like that, make friends with him, he'll know you next time.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. It turns out I do know that guy from some other stuff. So it's kind of weird. We just didn't recognize each other.
What, something changed about you or something?
I think it might have been the beard, yeah.
But another thing, fastness you can get away from bad stuff. If it gets too rough, you can outrun everybody.
I can't do that.
Me neither.
I never was bad to run, but sometimes I may have wished that I did.
Yeah.
I boxed a little bit when I was in service, and I learned that the shortest distance between 2 points is a left jab. And when you're boxing, you don't hit somebody, you hit through somebody. Never aim at them, aim through them. And I learned to survive. But my big deal was I love to wrestle because I was little. And them big fellas, they were a lot stronger than I was, but if you'll handle it right, he'll throw himself. You can hold him. And once you get him down, and if you let them, they'll throw themselves. That was my experience growing up. And plow mules, man, I plowed mules from daylight to dark. Go to school barefooted. But you didn't have a one pair of pants. You come home, you put your rags on and go to the field. But you either worked or you didn't eat. And I told my youngest sister, she made me leave home, and she don't understand till yet. They couldn't support and feed but 9 kids, and when she was born, I was the oldest one at home. Time to go. I had to go to work.
Yeah.
And how old were you?
16. I'm 16 years older than my youngest sister. And I've been on my own ever since. I picked up a little school in here and yonder, and a little bit of few college courses, things like that. And would you believe they were ignorant enough to offer me a commission in Korea? They wanted me to be a second lieutenant. The only thing we was losing was second lieutenants. I didn't want to be one.
And they were FLOs, weren't they?
Yeah, they told us, oh, you sign this paper here, and you spent 6 more months over here. We sent you to school 4 months to learn fire direction. I was an artillery outfit. And come up here on the back with the same company, 4 months. You'll go home as second lieutenant. I'll go home in a box too. Because them lieutenants was out there ahead of the infantry directing fire, artillery fire over the infantry. I didn't want no part of that.
What about the time the beer truck arrived?
One shot. Every once in a while you'd get 2 cans of beer. You had to pay for it now. They didn't get to you. But that's about all the alcohol you got. That truck pulled up on the side of this hill and parked. The supply tent was here. He was fixing to unload that truckload of beer. One artillery shell come in, and it landed right between the back wheels of that truck. And when that thing exploded, it blew every tire, but right front tire was on one, wasn't blowed out. All that beer, shrapnel went up through that beer, and by the time that beer started hitting the ground, there was a dozen soldiers up under there with their mouths open, catching that beer. Now that was comical. But even under pressure, when you're in combat and under pressure, there are things that are funny. They're not funny now, but you will laugh. You can't help it. It's you're under so much pressure and something weird or odd happens. You laugh. I like this boy come in one day and there was the artillery. We was on the fire and the artillery hitting around, and he was in the back seat of that Jeep. They was coming off the front line, and before that Jeep stopped, that fellow jumped, and he made about 6 steps in the air before he ever hit the ground. He was running actually, but what he did, he jumped, see, and he had his legs working before he ever landed. Now things like that were funny. He could have been killed, but he wasn't hit. But the thing about it, the way he come out of there, he was just. I was in a foxhole. I was looking through a sandbag, but I could see him running in the air, and it was comical. But a lot of odd and funny things happen during life, all for a reason, I guess. But Josh, now I'm just about talked down.
Talked out.
Talked down, unless you want to know.
But well, tell us. I always heard stories about your daddy and your uncles. Each of them had a gift.
Yeah, about my Uncle Sam is the one that had. They said they had a gift that was passed down. I heard something in church the other day about that. About God gave a group of people certain powers, healing powers. And my uncle was supposedly, if you had a bad cut and was bleeding, back then they used saws and axes and people did get that type cuts, that you could go to him, and by the time you got back to the person that was bleeding so bad, the blood would be stopped. Now I don't know whether that works or not, but I had a brother got his foot cut one time, and Mama couldn't stop the bleeding. My daddy went down the road about 2 miles where my uncle lived, and by the time he got down there, his foot quit bleeding. Now, whether that works, I got no idea. But his foot quit bleeding. That was Thurman got his foot cut.
Okay.
And Uncle Sam was the one that could do it. And my daddy supposedly had the art of removing warts off of people. I think it was just time for him to fall off. But a lot of people would come to him and he'd take his finger and go around and he'd do some mumbo jumbo in his mouth. I don't know what he was saying.
Mm-hmm.
But them warts would come off.
Okay. Whether they believed it was going to happen or not, the warts came off.
You had to believe that was going to happen.
You made Josh's warts come off.
Who did?
You.
You did. You talked them off.
You bought them from him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, remember?
I don't
You still
remember
got
that.
money?
When you were real little.
Should have pretty good interest on it by now, huh?
And when I had a little grandson one time, and I never understood one of the first words that he learned to say. You could ask him what was in that ditch. It was oggin. Now where he got that name from, I don't know, but that's what he called water, oggin.
He's a good looking kid too. He was a good looking kid.
Fine looking young kid, man. He lost him down the road, but I don't know. His hair changed color.
He did. Everything changed.
I guess that goes with age, Josh.